Welcome to the Rabbit Hole Fantasy Football Podcast. Thoughts, analysis, and information to help you succeed in your fantasy football leagues. I am your host, Chad Lyon, and I am here as always with Tyler Bevel.
Hey.
And our producer, Mitchell Bird.
Hello, hello.
And this is our Week 3 Thursday Night Football and Sunday early game preview. You excited, Ty?
Yeah.
Another week of football.
Yeah.
Maybe we get a little boost.
I hope so.
Instead of like 6 guys did great, nobody else did anything.
Yeah.
You know, quarterbacks need to pick it up.
Yeah.
Some of these other, guys outside of your main.
It's been an odd year offensively so far.
It has. You know what? I feel like we say this every single year.
We probably do. But you just get so excited for the beginning of the season.
It's like, well, let these guys gel and get in a groove and knock off some rust here.
Right.
Before we get started, top 3 science fiction movies.
You me to go first?
Sure. Yeah, how about it?
All right. I'll go 3-1. I got to throw Blade in there.
So Blade is number 3?
Blade is number 3.
I like it.
Back to the Future, the original, number 2. And The Matrix is number 1.
That's a good list.
Let's go.
It's a great list. Mitchell, go ahead. Are you going 3-1 here?
I'll go 1-3, but honestly, they're just the top 3. I just like when they're on. I like to watch them.
All right, fair enough.
Guardians of the Galaxy. That's gonna be my top.
That's a good one.
Independence Day. I just watched it the other day, and it seems like every time it's on, it's just like, yeah, I can watch this, please. And then Inception, another one.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
I like Independence Day. That's Will Smith pre-slap.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is Will Smith pre-slap.
For real.
At this point.
My top 3 is Aliens. That came out when I was 1 year old. But at the ripe age of 6, 7, I got to feast my eyes on it, and boy, did it change my life.
Yeah.
Woo. Boy, it's crazy to watch that and be like, they made this in 1986?
Yeah.
That's insane. Number 2 is the original Predator. Another classic for me.
Can't go wrong with that.
And number 3, because I watched it 1,001 times as a kid, is E.T.
Classic.
I'd still watch it today if it was on, man. Might
For
still
sure.
cry, too. I don't know. I'm not 8 anymore, but I might still cry.
I think since nobody said it, though, I got to give an honorable mention to Terminator 2.
Terminator.
Thank you.
That was... that's probably the science fiction movie I've watched the most, just because I was obsessed with it as a kid.
Absolutely.
And it has to be 2. As an adult, it's like, well, Terminator 1's great, but as a kid, Terminator 2, with the liquid guy, it's like, come on, you gotta... Arnold coming into the mall with a
revolutionary.
So this is a few days after the fact, but let's get a quick reaction in here. Monday Night Football, quick reaction.
You want to talk about this, Chad?
Nope. The Falcons 22, the Eagles 21. Tyler, go ahead, because no, I cannot talk about this.
What a heartbreaker for the Eagles.
Dude.
But there were some encouraging things here. To be fair, the Eagles should have taken the lead 18-15. People can say what they want. It was a drop pass that was there.
They should have taken the points early in the game, and it changes
that too.
Everything, man.
But you have an 18-15 lead, and the touchdown's right there. And I get it. He was turning weird, kind of going down.
No. I mean early in the game.
Oh yeah, but
early they should have taken the damn points.
But even with that said, you have an 18-15 lead, and you could punch it in right there to give yourself a 25 to. It's over.
Well, yeah, but they were so far away. They were just trying to get that first down, and then the game's over.
Right.
Saquon catches that, the game's over.
Yeah,
it's over. I don't know, man. My argument was, I was like, why don't you just run the ball? Just run the ball, dude. Saquon was,
but the play was there.
Exactly. That's my point. It's like, well, the play call worked. He just dropped the ball.
From a fantasy perspective, Saquon's still going to be really good.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts was very encouraging all night. Some of his runs were great.
He was surgical with the pass.
Yeah.
He looked really good until the last pass of the game.
The usage, I guess I thought Jahan Dotson would have been more involved.
Yeah, we whiffed on that.
Yeah.
Covey.
Yeah. Covey out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Good for him, though. Falcon side, I think Kirk Cousins was very encouraging in that game, correct?
Yeah, I think we can stop.
Yeah.
He's fine.
You still would like to see Kyle Pitts get more involved, but Drake London, good game.
Yep.
Darnell Mooney, good game.
Ray McLeod's a thing.
He is.
I added him in a couple leagues. He's a thing.
He is.
He's definitely a thing.
I think it would have been Rondale Moore, but I think those two players are so similar that the transition to Ray McLeod was not difficult at all. Sure. Darnell Mooney, good game. Drake London, good game. You want to see Kyle Pitts get more involved?
I don't understand what's going on there.
I wish I knew.
7 targets in 2 weeks, I think. 6 targets in 2 weeks.
It's not good. And Bijan was Bijan.
Right. The only thing I would like to say as far as real football goes, I hated their last drive. They had like 35 seconds and 2 timeouts. They immediately get pretty much to the 50. You got Jake Elliott. You still have another timeout. And then you sling it like 35 yards downfield for a pick. Like, what are you doing? You had a whole timeout.
Yeah, once you're talking after Atlanta took the lead.
Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely could have been handled better.
That was
for sure.
terrible.
Yeah.
That was horrible. It should have just been slants and crossers. At that point, you can still hit the middle of the field. You still have a timeout.
You get yourself in a situation then where, like you said, he throws it 35 down the field, 35 yards down the field into double coverage. Like, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, Jake Elliott has a 60-yard foot.
And he's money. He's clutch. It's not a shaky kicker that you got back there. Right. Like, get him in a position, give him a shot.
Yeah.
No, I agree 100%.
Even if it's a 61-yarder, go for it, man. Give him a crack. Like, why are you slinging?
I feel better than slinging at 35. I feel better with Jake Elliott kicking a 65-yard field goal than I tried throwing it into double coverage 35 yards down the field.
Yeah, I agree. Well, that's our Monday Night Football quick reaction. So,
sorry, Chad.
Yeah, it is what it is. The Eagles will be fine. I'm sure they'll be fine. All right, let's move on to Thursday Night Football. The Patriots at the Jets. Garrett Wilson party, Tyler?
I want to start Garrett Wilson. I don't know if it's a party, but
San Fran and Tennessee made things tough, but I feel like the party's right around the corner.
It's coming. Aaron Rodgers looked a lot better. I still think there's some rust.
Yeah.
Shaking off there a little bit, but looked a lot better.
Patriots just let Metcalf and JSN drop like 50 combined.
True. Very true.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, maybe this is the party we're waiting for
Garrett
Wilson.
It's not that. It's the Thursday night game.
Sure. That's always weirds you out, man.
It does.
It does. I don't know. I feel good about this one. It's a gut thing, but I can feel it. It's like right there.
I'm starting Garrett Wilson every week.
Well, yeah.
I think this kid is just eventually at some point this year just going to take off and not stop.
Yeah.
When that comes, I don't know. I don't like Thursday night games, but obviously he's a start. I don't have to say that.
Sure.
And Rodgers is looking better. I will say Aaron Rodgers is there. Garrett Wilson's there. I think they're going to have a great year. This offense runs through Breece Hall.
Oh, yes. 1,000%.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Outside of Wilson, any other Jets pass catchers in mind this week?
No, I'm interested to see it, but no.
Okay, me neither. I mean, you're talking Lazard, Corley.
Yeah, I just don't know. Williams in the mix.
Tyler Conklin, Mike Williams, right? Yep.
But no, I want to see it. Starting Garrett Wilson, but other than that, I want to see what goes on with the other ones.
All right. Speaking of Breece Hall, you brought him up. I expect another great week here. Patriots have played Zach Moss, Chase Brown, and Zach Charbonnet so far.
Yeah, this is different.
Charbonnet landed 17 points against the Patriots. I expect this to be another big week for Breece Hall.
Yeah, 20 plus.
I mean, obviously,
I think would be my prediction, 20 plus points for Breece Hall.
I would agree with that. You can probably do better than starting either of these quarterbacks, but I don't hate Rodgers as a starter if you have to. I mean, it should be reasonable.
If you have to make a choice between one of these two, I feel sorry for you, but it's definitely Rodgers.
Yeah, for real. I don't think anyone's making that choice. If you are, oops. But I think Rodgers should, give a reasonable output. He should be fine, especially in Superflex. I have no problem there. I use him in Superflex. On the Patriots side, confidence in Ramondre Stevenson?
I am starting Ramondre Stevenson until he proves me otherwise.
You can run against the Jets.
Yep.
They've given up, I think, 4.7 yards per carry. You can run on that.
I'll take that.
And you can see it when you watch the Jets play. It's like, oh, you can run on them. Right. You can't really throw on them, but you can run on them.
I'll take that. 4.7, Ramondre Stevenson. Give me that for sure.
How about Hunter Henry this week? A dud or serviceable numbers?
Very serviceable numbers.
I'm going to run some comparisons a little later with him, but I kind of like this.
I very much like this because of how difficult the Jets can make things on the outside.
Yes.
So I think Hunter Henry gets a good amount of work in this game. I like Hunter Henry in this.
I would love to see, 7, 8 targets. I would love that.
I think he'll get that. This is one of those few Thursday night things where Hunter Henry, I would stream a tight end. I'd stream Hunter Henry if I had to. If he's still available. He had a big week last week, but
yeah, I mean, I'm sure he was a big ad for a lot of people.
Oh, I'm sure.
We talked about it last show. Like, you should add Hunter Henry if you can.
Yeah.
No interest in Pat's receivers, I assume.
The only one I want catching the ball is Hunter Henry.
That's it. All right, that's it for Thursday Night Football. Let's move on to the 1 o'clock games, and we'll start with the Giants at the Browns.
Ugh.
This should be a barn burner. Man. Listen, after last week with Neighbors, I think you better temper your expectations a little bit here. The Browns defense it's not a joke.
No.
I mean, he's still going to get some volume, but
it's not Washington.
Yeah, right. You're still probably starting him because you have to.
For more reasons than just Denzel Ward being out there. I mean, that pass rush, everything it's just going to be a more difficult game.
Say what you want about Deshaun Watson and the offensive side, but Browns defense that's a tough defense.
I will say what I want. Deshaun Watson is wasting that magnificent defense that the Browns have.
He really is. I don't know. I just feel like it's a big ask for the Giants and Neighbors. It just really is. I don't. Or do you think? Do you have any trust at all just because of volume, or is this like, oh man, it could be a bad game?
I'm gonna give you a hot take here.
All right.
I'll start more Giants players in this game than Browns players.
Wandale in the flex.
Yep.
You're not worried about Singletary against this defense?
I am worried, but I'm starting him. If I have the choice between him or Jerome Ford, with how that with how those carries were dispersed for the Browns last year, Dante Foreman had 14 carries last week.
Yeah.
So I have more confidence in Devin Singletary than rolling with anybody in that Browns. If you have Ford, chances are you probably got to roll with him in a flex spot or something. But I have more confidence in Devin Singletary getting the volume than I do Ford getting the volume. The pass catchers for the Browns have just been all you can have right now to be optimistic about is like, well, they're getting 8 and 7 targets, but the targets aren't getting to them.
Right.
So I'm starting Wandale on the flex. I think Malik Neighbors is probably really a flex this week with wide receiver 2 upside.
Right.
And I'm starting Singletary if I have him. The Browns, I don't feel as confident in Judy, Cooper, or Jerome Ford. And it's just like the Ford thing is just, it's the volume. You don't know how that volume is going to shake out for this game.
I will say some teams have been able to get some things through in the air way more than the ground. So it's Cleveland. So that's probably dicey. It's dicey for all of them, but it's going to be the diciest for Singletary, I would think, as far as the Giants guys go. But I agree with that. I agree with that take.
If I have to start a Browns wide receiver, and I hate to say this because Amari's my boy, but it's Jerry Jeudy, just because he's getting more of the underneath targets.
Yeah, and that's about all Watson can do. I mean, he can't do what Cooper needs him to do, man.
Right.
You know who can?
Jameis.
Yeah. No interest in the quarterbacks outside of maybe Superflex if you gotta.
I have to start Deshaun Watson as Superflex, and I absolutely hate it every week.
So you have no hope for an Amari Cooper game here?
I don't want to say that because then he'll score 2 touchdowns somehow and make me look like an idiot. But it's my optimism is very low.
Okay. We talked on the last podcast about Jerry Jeudy and the sheer volume he gets. More in slow end flex still?
Yeah.
All right.
But if you have a better option, take it.
So you don't. Okay. Because I was going to ask if you thought maybe the targets shine through a little better.
I hope so.
In this particular matchup, but I don't know. Man, the Browns they could be better with Jameis. I'm telling you.
Wait, and it's just like in this matchup against the Giants, you feel like Jeudy and Cooper are going to get separation, but is Deshaun going to get him the ball?
Right.
That's the holdup is Deshaun Watson. People can say whatever they want, but it's ugly when he's on the field.
It is. I was just hoping maybe against this defense you could see with Jerry Jeudy instead of the 10-12, maybe like a 14-16 this week. Just in this particular game, but
I hope so.
Yeah, we'll see. So flex them with low confidence, essentially.
Yeah, like I said, and I know it sounds weird to say. I think the Browns are going to win this game. I have more confidence in the Giants players fantasy wise than I do the Browns.
Okay. David Njoku is still considered week to week with an ankle injury. The Giants defense is like 25th against the running back position. So I don't know, but we already kind of touched on it. It's just,
you just don't know how it's going to shake out.
Yeah.
Foreman went from 1 carry to 14. He out-touched Ford last week. The week earlier, I think Ford had 18 carries to Foreman's 1. And I don't know if Pierre Strong's going to play this week or not. He's questionable last I knew.
He's still questionable.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's a bummer. I don't even want to answer. Like, I don't even want to try to decipher what happens between Ford and Foreman. I don't even want to try.
I have no idea.
I don't either. You stay away if you can.
Yeah.
I guess if you have to, you almost have to lean Ford, I guess. But
yeah, you have to give Ford the benefit of the doubt, but I don't want to take that chance.
Okay, that's the Giants and the Browns. Let's move on to the Eagles at the Saints. I think Derek Carr and the Saints offense is going to give the Eagles defense all they can handle.
Yeah. Like,
this could be a second loss in a row for Philadelphia.
Are the Saints for real?
I don't know, man. This Clint Kubiak thing.
There's something going on, and defenses are going to figure it out eventually.
Kamara looks like Kamara a few years ago. Like, it's insane.
It's just it looks very different. The Saints offense looks different. All that pre-snap motion and everything, it's causing problems. And the defenses are eventually going to slow it down a little bit, but I don't know if we're there yet.
That Kubiak thing really flew under the radar.
Yeah.
I mean, he comes from that Shanahan system, and we love it.
We did talk about it here on the Rabbit Hole, though. So.
Yes. Tie. But it did. It flew under the radar, period. Yeah. It just did. And boy, things look good. Are you confident that Kamara stays steady and keeps on doing this Kamara thing?
Not going to be 4 touchdowns.
4 touchdowns.
Yeah, I am. And I'll eat crow there a little bit. I thought we were going to start seeing a decline in Kamara, but man, it just seems like he's rejuvenated. And
it's only been 2 weeks, but
if the Saints offense keeps playing at a high level, though, I don't have any reason to believe that Kamara is going to slow down.
Right. Bijan just dropped 100 total yards on the Eagles defense. I mean,
yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, obviously you start him. I just wondered, does he keep this going? And it is. It's in New Orleans, man. Rashid Shaheed or Chris Olave this week?
Olave
over Shaheed.
Yep.
After 2 weeks, Philly is 30th against the wide receiver position.
Yeah, I still take Olave because he's still getting the volume. Shaheed, if you take away the 2 big pass plays in each game, it's not that great of a stat line. And props to him, he's gotten a big reception in both games for a touchdown. But if you take that away, the numbers are a little sketch. The other problem with that is, though, I think Shaheed is more involved throughout the game because I don't think this is a blowout like it was with Dallas and Carolina.
Well, it's certainly not Carolina. Yeah. Well,
Dallas was much better.
Pretty bad. You're right. Do you think this Juwan Johnson thing that we were thinking is faded off?
Yeah.
I think so too. I don't really even have like spot start hope. Like he's pretty well like.
But Taysom Hill's in there, and I think there's a good chance that Foster Moreau is the better tight end.
He's been listed as a starter the last 2 games.
Okay.
So it's kind of telling me like, Taysom Hill is questionable with a chest injury, but they're hopeful he plays. Yeah, I think we can get off this Juwan Johnson train. I gave in a league that I am in a 14-man dynasty league. I'm competing to win. I think I can. I gave a 4th for Juwan Johnson because all I had was Dalton Kincaid. I put my stock on his receivers and stuff, but
take a chance on a 4th. But just I was very high on Juwan Johnson, but one of the biggest things in fantasy football is like when the season happens and stuff starts rolling, you got to know when to admit that you were wrong too and move on.
Yep, and I think it's time to move on from that.
I do too.
Starting Carr seems fine right now. Would you start him against this defense?
Yeah.
I think I would too.
Especially if you got an injured quarterback. If you're in that Jordan Love situation and you were able to pick up Carr off waivers.
Yeah, I'm sure he was added in a lot of leagues.
Give him a go. Yep.
Yeah. You're starting Hurts. AJ Brown is doubtful. He said he's probably going to miss a couple weeks. So Devonta Smith, once again, a wide receiver 1 this week.
Yeah, big uptick for him.
Hurts looked great in the passing game, and the Falcons D-backs are not slouches.
I don't know what to do behind Devonta Smith. You would like to think that Dotson's going to get more involved, but you don't know.
It's Barkley. Barkley, and Jalen Hurts just runs more.
And Kobe was good in the little role that he had. Goddard does not seem to be as involved in this offense as he has in the past.
No, he doesn't. And I got to say, as good as people kind of sleep on the Falcons D. Those safeties in the back are wicked.
Oh, Jesse Bates is for real.
He's so good, man.
He's for real.
He's so good. So with Devontae looking as good as he did and serving as the one, as of right now, Marshawn Lattimore is still questionable with a hamstring injury. You know what you know how that injury can be, man. That's, I mean, hell, they could say he starts and 2 plays in, he's limping off. Hammies are just, that's the worst. So obviously, if Lattimore is out, the confidence is going to stay high for Devonta. But if he plays and is healthy,
I still start Devonta. No.
Okay. Because he gives Mike Evans fits.
He does. And as great of a wide receiver as Mike Evans is, there are a few wide receivers in the league that run routes as good as Devonta Smith.
Yeah.
That's just... So, no, it doesn't. I still start Devonta Smith with the same confidence if Marshawn Lattimore is 100%.
Okay. Yeah, and you touched on Goddard. He's getting hard to start, man. But the problem is, like, it's hard to look anywhere else.
It is.
Would you roll the dice with Hunter Henry over Goddard?
Yes.
I think I would, too. I don't think that's getting too
If those
cute.
are my 2 tight ends and I picked up Hunter Henry in waivers off of week 2 or something, yes, I'm going to roll with Hunter Henry, even in the Thursday night game, until I see Goddard get more involved in this offense.
I told you he was going to come up later.
Yeah.
Angry run kind of game for Saquon after that pass drop.
Start. Yeah.
But just remember, this Saints defense is not by any means a pushover at all. It's a tough defense.
They're not.
So, like, we're saying all this, but there is a chance that this could seriously go the other way for Philadelphia.
I think it's going to be a competitive game, and the Saints defense is very good. I don't think they're good enough to keep Barkley from a good fantasy game.
Not having Brown really hurts in this one.
It does.
It really does. Like,
if you got 2 good receivers like that, it makes the game different.
Yeah. I guess that's it. Do you have anything else for that game? I think we touched on everything there.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the Texans at the Vikings. Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, both still questionable. Jefferson's day-to-day, I think, was the last I saw. Kevin O'Connell said, he's feeling pretty good. Like, oh, thanks. Take from that what you will. I don't think he practiced today, Wednesday. Addison is seemingly on the right track. They're hopeful he can play this week. I don't know. They're both wait and see by the sounds of it. If neither of these guys start, I think it's going to be a long day for Minnesota against this Texans defense.
Yeah, poor Sam.
Oh, yeah. And this is where the train slows down a little bit.
Yeah, and not even at his own fault. Like, I loved seeing Sam Darnold last week come into the locker room and be like, never should have cut me, though. I was like, yeah, good for you, Sam. That's great.
If Jefferson and Addison are both out, do you Jalen Nailor flex? Or it's just like, no, this is just...
You, in your head, you go, yeah, well, the next guy up. It's not always work out that way.
Right.
Because then there's a chance that Jalen Nailor sees the number 1 corner a lot, and maybe it's another guy that gets that. So, yeah, but very low optimism there, only because... You think next man up. Okay, this guy's out and this guy's out. Jalen Nailor is not Justin Jefferson. And if he's going against the number 1 corner, I just don't know if he gets that same separation. I can't even say off the top of my head if he travels or not.
Right.
But, Jalen Nailor going up against him, I don't like that matchup at all.
I do have an update here. Jefferson practiced in a limited capacity.
So that's good.
Jordan Addison did not practice at all. So
in that scenario, if Jordan Addison doesn't play and Jalen Nailor does, but Jefferson is still on the field,
then I feel better.
Then I feel better about Nailor as a flex for sure.
Good call. So yeah, monitor those injuries. It sounds like Jefferson might have a better chance than Addison.
Yeah,
but we'll see. Like I said, they were hopeful about Addison. Aaron Jones is questionable and was limited at practice Wednesday, but it sounds like it could be more like a rest type situation. Down on the Vikings running backs though, overall, regardless of health,
no,
they're third against the position. Houston is. The Houston defense is third against running backs right now.
Give me Ty Chandler.
Passing role.
Yeah, even though it wasn't really there. It was non-existent last week. But you got to think that that's something that gets going.
I guess you could consider him a flex, especially if I feel like you want Jefferson to play though to flex anyone outside of that, right?
Yeah.
And do what you want with Darnold, but I sure wouldn't.
This ain't the matchup for Darnold.
I just don't think I would. Stroud's an obvious start. Nico Collins was held out of practice Wednesday with a hip and foot injury. Seems like he's all right. Just keep your eye on it. That changed a lot of things fantasy-wise for the Texans wide receivers, though.
Yeah. Bump up Diggs, bump up Dell.
Yeah.
Nico doesn't play.
Assuming he plays. Nico's a 1.
Yeah.
Diggs is a 2.
Yep.
Tank is a flex.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you and you're expecting them to finish in that order?
Yep.
As long as Nico plays and he's healthy?
Yeah.
Okay. Joe Mixon is questionable with an ankle injury. The reports, they were like a little mixed, weird. Like I started out here and it was like a potential high ankle sprain, but now it sounds like it's not that serious, kind of a day-to-day thing. So I'll have to wait and see. If he's not, or if he is healthy, you start him. If he's not, Damian Pierce is questionable, I think, with, I can't remember what it was now at this point, but it sounded like, it was a hamstring. So if Mixon doesn't start, do we start Cam Akers?
If you're a running back needy team, yeah.
Flex him.
Yep.
All right. BJ's going to love that one.
RB2 if you have to, if that's your only option. I mean.
Right. How confident are you in that?
I'm not. Just because you haven't seen it at all yet.
Anything in a while.
Right.
Dalton Schultz or Hunter Henry?
Hunter Henry.
Hunter Henry. Easy choice, right?
Yeah.
Dalton Schultz is like.
He's been non-existent so far.
Pretty well non-existent.
I know he's banged up first couple weeks.
I thought this tight end landscape was growing.
It doesn't seem so.
It's like shrinking.
Taking a step back.
Weird. All right, that's it. Let's move on to the Broncos at the Buccaneers. As far as the Broncos go, nope. I can't start any of these guys. Like if I was forced to, like gun to my head, it's like, okay, Javonte, but I would really prefer to enjoy them, or I'd really prefer to avoid all these guys. What do you think? Yeah, man. No way. None of them. None of them. You going to start Cortland Sutton?
I guess if I have to, he's my one over Javonte a little bit that I would start. They're going to be behind, probably. Going to have to throw the ball. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt here, but
I know. Another good Baker game is in order here.
I think there's a lot of good Baker games in order this year.
Yeah. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin.
Start them both.
Or both.
Both.
Okay. It's just like, what do you really even talk about here?
I don't think Surtain travels.
No, I don't. I think he'll. I don't think he does. I think he'll shadow Evans.
I think You think he will shadow Evans? I think he primarily. A lot of times, maybe it's tough with this wide receiver because Chris Godwin's really good too. But I feel like he plays on the right side a lot of times, and I should have investigated that more.
Me too.
Going into this, but
I don't think it really matters. So I think you start them both with the most ridiculous amount of confidence.
Yep.
Rashad White dealing with a groin injury sustained last week, but it doesn't seem to be major. But they're tricky. Groin injuries can be they're as irritating as a hamstring injury, man. Like they just seem to nag and nag and nag and nag. So he was limited at Wednesday's practice. And again, keep an eye on it because it can be really irritating.
Well, let me just say this, not to interrupt you, but if you're a Rashad White owner and you don't have Bucky Irving by this point, that is on you. Because the guy has averaged under 2.3 yards per carry in both games. Yep. 1.8 last week, I believe.
Yeah.
If you don't have Bucky Irving at this point, it's on you.
I agree. He's definitely a flex if White doesn't play.
Absolutely.
And my next note, I hope you added him by now if you have White. Because it's too late now, man. I added him in a league. I don't even have White, and I added him through waivers. So
I don't blame you.
Do you have anything else here? I mean, it's
no. No.
Who goes off between Evans and Godwin? Which receiver?
It's Evans week 1, Godwin week 2. Give me Evans week 3.
All right. Give me Godwin.
All right, fair enough.
All right. Nothing else here then. All right, let's move on to the Packers at the Titans. Josh Jacobs was limited at practice Wednesday with a back injury, but he also dealt with that quite a bit last week, and then he had like 32 carries. So it's probably maintenance related. Jaden Reed was limited with a shin and calf injury, but it sounds like he's fine. For the Titans, Tajay Spears was held out of practice Wednesday with an ankle injury, but he says he plans to play. So we will find out. Tyler, does this game just give you the absolute like, ugh? Like, I don't even...
Revenge game from Malik Willis.
Oh, man, you are not kidding. I didn't even notice that. You're right.
He's coming.
All right, 400 yards and 3 touchdowns incoming from Malik Willis.
Maybe in like 5 games he would put up those numbers.
Yeah. Like, I honestly, man, like, I kind of want to stay away from it on both sides. But, I mean, the only guys you really have interest in here is Jacobs and Pollard.
Yeah.
And you probably have to start them anyway.
Yeah, I feel confident in starting both of those players. Jacobs is going to get the volume.
Outside of that, though, it's...
there's nothing there. And yeah, like I love these Packers wide receivers, but I need Jordan Love to be back in there before I feel good about that.
Me too.
And Calvin Ridley, no, I don't want to.
Yeah, this is going to end up being this is a quicker one here. Like, I don't even... like I said, it's just got that...
Even if you feel better about that, like with Calvin Ridley, like we talked about him a couple of days ago. Did you hear Alexander is no joke?
No, he's very good.
He's serious.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't get maybe the credit he deserves, but very good corner. And this low scoring game, I got to think.
And no interest in the quarterbacks here. This could be like a 13-10 kind of game.
For sure.
Like it really could. But what if you had no choice and you had to pick one wide receiver across this whole matchup, Titans or Packers?
If he's healthy, Jaden Reed.
Same. And I think it's so easy.
Yeah.
Like it's not even a question mark. I got nothing else here, man. There's just not a whole lot of fantasy relevance going on here.
It's Pollard, and even if Spears plays, I think you're still waiting it out a little bit.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, that's the Packers at the Titans. Let's move on to the Bears at the Colts. Dude, I am terrified to start any Colt not named Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Do you have an option if you have Anthony Richardson as your quarterback?
Yeah. Sure you do. I mean, there's got to be. If you go look at your waivers, I mean, there's got to be something out there. You know, you would certainly think so. Maybe Aaron Rodgers is out there.
Yeah.
Maybe Kirk Cousins is out there.
I take both of that. I don't know. It's tough because there's still. I'm starting Anthony Richardson still.
I think a lot of people have dropped Trevor Lawrence, but he's playing Buffalo.
In a 12-man league, I just opened it up.
That's what I'm looking at.
Jared Goff, Sam Darnold, Justin Fields, Geno Smith, Matt Stafford, Trevor Lawrence, Will Levis, Gardner Minshew.
There's a lot of options, but do you feel safe with any of them? Or you want to bet the money on Richardson's feet? He's playing the Bears, man. Like
you like Stafford, but then you like, well, he's playing San Francisco. And he doesn't have his wide receiver group. Cooper Kupp might not play this week.
Yeah, he's not going to play.
Not going to play?
No, he's headed for IR most likely.
Is he? I know they said like they might not put him on right away. If they could avoid putting him on, they were going to avoid it. But yeah.
I don't know what several weeks means. Does that mean 3? Does that mean 7?
Chargers defense has been great, so you don't feel good about Justin Fields. Sam Darnold against Houston. I guess out of that waiver list that I just read off, it's Jared Goff against Arizona. But it's at Arizona.
We'll get to that Chargers defense soon. I think it's a sham.
Could be.
But we'll find out here. I don't know, man. Yeah, I guess. It's just this Bears defense is so good. It's so good.
I'm sorry. Like the Chargers defense might be a sham, but it's not going to get uncovered against the Steelers offense.
That's true.
Anyhow, sorry.
No, Bears defense is no joke.
No.
And after what we saw last week out of Richardson, man, the Bears defense is better than it was the Packers, right?
Yeah.
Better than the Packers defense.
It is for sure. But there's just so much. I don't know.
Well, let me go on to this. I think you got to bench Pittman.
Yeah, for sure.
You can't play any of these guys, man.
Nope.
It's if you want to go on the upside of Richardson's feet, that's fine. I understand. Or his legs, however you want to say it, the running capability. And then Jonathan Taylor. But other than that, nothing.
No, he's not getting the ball consistently to any of these receivers.
I think there's actually waiver guys that were added this week that I'd prefer. Ray McLeod or Pittman?
Ray McLeod.
Juwan Jennings or Pittman? No Debo.
Jennings.
DeMarcus Robinson or Pittman?
Marcus Robinson.
You can bench Pittman.
Yeah.
You start Alec Pierce?
No.
Are you sure? He's lighting it up.
I know. It's not going to keep happening.
What if he does it again this week?
Then
Do you have to really start considering something?
I'll put my boot in my mouth right on the podcast.
Okay. Another painful week for Caleb, or could this be a slight bump? Like this, Colts have been beat up in the secondary.
Yeah.
By other quarterbacks. It's like the zone thing, like that.
I'll say yes, a little bit of an uptick for Caleb, just because I want to see it get going.
They're 19th against the QB position right now. The Colts are.
Okay.
I only ask because I'm thinking about the Bears receivers, not necessarily Caleb. Like if Caleb does better, the Bears follow suit. With their receivers. I don't know. I just think that again, 19th. There's a lot of zone going on. Like I think that's a help for Caleb and a help for the receivers. Speaking of the receivers, though, Keenan Allen did not practice Wednesday with a heel injury. Roma Dunes was limited with a knee injury, but I think he's going to play. If Keenan plays, does that help this whole thing?
Absolutely.
See, I think that's what Caleb needs on the field. They need a healthy Keenan Allen, and I'm afraid.
I still think at 32, 33 years old,
he's great. He's so good.
He's getting better separation than DJ Moore and Roma Dunte.
Yeah. So you don't think this is like solely on Caleb to get a little more right before anything can be trusted beyond like flex numbers from Keenan and DJ Moore?
Oh, no, this is on Caleb.
Okay.
Like Caleb needs to play better regardless of who's out there.
Right.
So, but I think it helps if he has Keenan Allen out there for sure. But Caleb needs to play better regardless.
So we need that to happen because this all leads up essentially to the Colts are 25th against the receiver position right now. So, that's including that Green Bay game.
Right.
So there's some possibilities here, but I think you need Keenan to start to feel better about anything like as a whole.
Right.
Okay. You can run on the Colts. Can you warrant a little more trust for Swift, or is this just like flex at best with DeAndre Swift?
Flex at best.
I think so too, and that sucks to say.
It does.
Man, I did not that I had like all this stock that the Bears were going to be this world-beating offense.
I thought their offensive line was going to be better, though.
Me too. I thought that was going to be, I think we said this last show. I thought it was going to be more like, maybe not above average, but more just like average. It is below average.
And I think Swift coming from that Eagles offensive line.
He's like, what are we doing?
What's happening?
I didn't know how good I had it.
Yeah.
Stay as far away from Cole Kmet as you possibly can.
Yeah.
That's just not working at all. And I kind of thought that.
Yeah, I was pretty high on Cole Kmet at the beginning of the year.
That's it, man. You have anything else for this?
Bears defense all day.
Oh, easy.
Yep.
That's an easy one. All right, let's move on to the Chargers at the Steelers. Justin Herbert is still questionable to not practice Wednesday. Coach Harbaugh was like totally non-committal when asked about him playing Sunday. But aren't you like super concerned about even considering Herbert as a start, even if he is healthy? I don't even. Yeah. It sounds weird, but this is where we are. And also, they're playing the Steelers, so
yeah,
they make things a little tough.
I'm not starting Justin Herbert regardless.
Nope, you can cut Justin Herbert right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, find a better option off the waivers for sure.
And I say that, with confidence because guess what? I did.
Yeah.
So no confidence at all.
You only have so many roster spots. You got to get rid of the dead weight.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree. There's so many guys. There's guys right now sitting on the waivers right now that didn't get added that I'm playing over him.
Yeah.
Give me Goff. Someone cut Goff. All right, I'll take that chance. At least he's got guys to throw to.
Right.
Josh Palmer did not practice Wednesday. He's dealing with an elbow and calf injury. Also, Hayden Hurst was limited with an ankle injury. I don't know how much that really matters to the fantasy community, but that's that. Are we just going to fade these LA pass catchers against the Steelers defense? They're 8th against the receiver position.
Vlad McConkey still a flex.
I was going to ask you.
I know he had a down week, but I'd still give Vlad McConkey a flex spot.
Over Quentin Johnson, like if you had to choose.
Give me Vlad McConkey.
I want to go against you and say Quentin Johnson, but I said so many not nice things. Yeah, man. Why McConkey?
I feel like he's going to be lined up in the slot more.
And that's what you want? Is that what you want here against this defense? All right, give me McConkey. You're a Steelers guy. I trust your intuition more.
Yeah.
I cannot believe I'm saying this, but I do have some concern this week for J.K. Dobbins. I'm still flexing him because you should absolutely be able to flex him for where you got him. But so he's that good. You can't ignore what's been going on here. But I think you should expect at least like a low. I don't think he runs for 135 yards.
No, I would say no.
Just a lower output than what we've gotten used to the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he could get more touches in this game.
Well, might have to.
Especially with Herbert being banged up. We don't know what's going on there.
That limp was pretty bad.
If Herbert doesn't play, he's definitely going to get more touches. But one thing I will say is I think the Steelers can shut Gus Edwards pretty much down. The big playability of J.K. Dobbins could happen against any defense on any play.
Yeah, that's fair.
I got to think if Gus Edwards comes out there and they're just stuffing him.
I got zero interest in him this week.
Then Dobbins is going to get some more work this week. Pittsburgh has a good defense, but they're not a world beater against the run either. So I still have Dobbins as an RB2.
I'll say, not that I'm sitting here like pounding the table and disagreeing. I'll go high end flex with RB2 upside.
Okay, yeah.
It's a tough defense, and they're tough. Okay, so the Chargers defense at the moment is first against the quarterback position. They have played against Gardner Minshew and Bryce Young.
Well, they're going to get a quarterback that's right between the two.
So I still can't take that seriously. How am I supposed to take that seriously? That said, I'm not starting Justin Fields outside of Superflex, but even though that's due mainly to rushing upside, and I probably got to be a little thin at quarterback to do so. But with Fields, I do still wonder if he's a deep stash to see how this thing plays out.
Oh, yeah.
Do you does he get to the point where, because he had a lot of games in Chicago where he just played loose? Or do you think like he's standing there like, oh, I'm in Pittsburgh now, I got Tomlin over here, like this is a serious football team?
He's trying to keep a job. He's planning to keep a job right now.
And that's what worries me about stashing him. Like it's almost like he's playing a little tight because he wants to, and I don't blame him. You know, he's not ready to rip it yet in this offense, and he doesn't have a whole lot to rip it to. I'm just wondering, when do the legs come into play?
The problem is, and I get it, but I think if Justin Fields would play loose, this would be his job hands down.
You think so?
Yeah.
Playing a little nervous, a little tight. He's just like, oh.
I get it, and like to his credit, it's smart. He understands that the defense he has out there is legitimate. He's just trying not to make the mistakes and manage the game. But I want to see him cut it loose, and I want to see him take off a little bit more. You're never going to convince me until I see otherwise, which I don't think is going to happen, that Justin Fields doesn't give this team more upside than Russell Wilson.
Oh, I think he does, for sure. The thing is, you got to remember, too, with Fields is he's still quite young, and he's looking over his shoulder, and there's a Super Bowl champion quarterback standing there. So, yeah, he probably is playing a little tight just because, like, I can't lose this, man. He's, like, right there.
Yeah.
So, the Chargers are second. Chargers defense are second against the receiver position, but I also think that number's a mirage.
This doesn't change how you handle the Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver group. George Pickens is a start.
Right, and that's what I was going to say. So, as that said, you know, is there trust in Pickens?
Yep.
Okay. Najee Harris, could this be a better week for Najee?
No.
No?
It'd be a good week. Decent, but I don't think it's going to be much better than the previous 2 weeks. I think he's going to get the volume, but Jalen Warren seemed a lot healthier last week. He's getting in the rotation.
What do you have? About 20 touches in each of the last 2 weeks, Najee has.
Yep.
I mean, the volume's present. Chargers show 11th against the running back position, but again, Zamir White, Chuba Hubbard, Miles Sanders.
I think with these running backs, you're going to see something similar to what you've seen last year. A lot of new pieces in the Steelers offensive line. I think they get it together and get it figured out. I just don't think it's going to happen earlier in the year.
I want to point out they damn near allowed 100 yards on the ground against Carolina. Mainly Hubbard. I mean, with that volume, I think I'm going to call, I don't know how high they're going to be, but I'm going to call double-digit PPR points for Najee this week.
Yeah, I think he gets double-digit PPR points, but he had...
I think he gets in the end zone. I think that's what does it.
If he gets in the end zone, yeah.
It's not going to be anything crazy. 12, 13.
This game's going to be like 13-10, just like the Titans and Packers game.
Yeah. I do want to note that Jaylen Warren did receive an uptick in touches last week. And
I think that trend continues.
That's probably something to watch. It's going to affect Najee, period. Rowan Wilson, limited Wednesday, still dealing with an ankle injury. As we said, you're starting Pickens. How about Freiermuth?
Yeah. In the tight end landscape like it is, I'll give Freiermuth the nod.
Freiermuth or Goddard?
Freiermuth.
Freiermuth or Henry? Give me Henry.
Yeah, I'll take Henry. Yeah, Henry.
All right. A lot of Hunter Henry going on in this podcast.
Yeah. Tight end landscape is still rough.
If this keeps rolling, I'm going to get on my high horse again. For those that listen, I did bring Hunter Henry up a few weeks ago.
You did.
It was just a thought. All right, Tyler, any final thoughts?
Go Steelers.
Go Steelers. All right. I'm sure that helps a lot of people out there, Tyler.
I don't,
We'll have better final thoughts after the next show because we'll cover all the games.
I actually kind of like this in a weird way, being a Steelers fan, because it's like, well, their fantasy players are trash, but then I can just like root for them and not have to worry about any of that.
Yeah, you don't have to sound like some jerk on the podcast at all. I don't really have any final thoughts. How about you, Mitchell?
I just hope for a better fantasy week this week.
Yeah,
less injuries, more points.
No kidding. All right, that's it for today's show. Again, as always, thank you all so much for tuning in and giving us your support. Remember, our PPR Superflex Dynasty rankings are now available in the description. Just click the corresponding link. They are available as well on our Twitter. Also, check the description for instructions on how to get your trades graded. Join us next time as we preview the Sunday late afternoon games, Sunday Night Football, and Monday Night Football for Week 3. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe to our Spotify, Twitter, and YouTube. Please tell your friends. See you next time, everybody.